Hey guys, welcome to Travels with Trouble. In this episode we're heading to the breathtaking Wilson's Prom in Victoria, home to some of the most spectacular hiking trails and incredible wildlife encounters that we've experienced yet. And wait until you see the unexpected surprise we caught on camera with one of the park's fairy residents. Stay tuned for an adventure you won't want to miss. Now before we got to Wilson's Prom, we made a detour to Tarra Bulga National Park, which is in the heart of Gippsland. Known for being one of the last surviving cool temperate rainforests in Victoria. From the last episode in Tidal River National Park, we headed south 159 kilometres through some very windy roads to arrive in the Tarra Valley. We were immediately transported into a lush, green and very wet part of the country, and we quickly found the huge mountain ash trees the park was famous for. I looked like an ant in front of this 100-metre giant. We continued through the different forest trails in the area, which can be accessed along the Grand Ridge Road. Cyathea Falls was a gorgeous and enjoyable short trek. Even the rainy weather couldn't dampen the beauty of this place. The iconic Corrigan Suspension Bridge and Tarra Falls were also worthy short walks and stop-offs along the road. Yoo, that's a long way down. From the Tarra Valley we drove to the town of Yarram, to a little free campsite just off the main strip. A quiet little town but home to some very happy and friendly locals, living that carefree life as well. The plan was to head down to Wilson's Prom, but with a long weekend happening, the campsites were fully booked. We took our time and stopped off at the town of Welshpool, home to one of the longest jetties in Australia. The jetty had been recently refurbished and offered the promise of a spot of fishing. Unfortunately, the howling wind quickly put a stop to any ideas of pulling in a feed tonight, but it was a nice surprise stop before we hit our main attraction. With the weekend finally over, we made our way into Wilson's Prom. Our first stop was the Prom Wildlife Walk, and sure enough, it didn't take long before we spotted a couple of emus grazing. Hold up! I didn't even notice the big kangaroo hopping along. Emus are one of our favourite animals here in Australia. They can reach up to 1.9 metres tall and run at speeds of up to 48 kilometres per hour. Despite their size, they're a bit shy, awkward, and move out of your path just like these guys. After our emu encounter, it was time to hit Mount Bishop, along with half of the park. Now thankfully, that most were leaving by the time we got there. And after a reasonable hike up through the trees, we made it to an absolutely stunning view over Squeaky Beach and Whiskey Bay. At 319 metres high, Mount Bishop is a fantastic vantage point to see the incredible Prom coastline. A good chance to pull out the camera and take in a few treasured snaps. We highly recommend this hike as an alternative to the more popular Mount Oberon summit. The next day the sun was shining, so it was a good chance to catch up on some washing at the campsite. Being off-peak, we had plenty of room to stretch out at Tidal River. We found that the local campsite staff were working hard during the day and even at night to keep the grass mowed and also the trees trimmed. After getting our laundry and all our chores done, we were able to hit the trail from the campsite, which took us along the Tidal River. The plan was to head along the river and go down to the beach. However, the trail cut through some coastal bushland and ended up passing some immense granite boulders, before leading us up to a panoramic view of the gorgeous coastline and surrounding peaks. It wasn't what we intended, but the views were definitely worth it. As we made our way back to the campsite, the hike had one more surprise in store for us. A big cute wombat heading along the path to cross the bridge with us. Wombats are super cute, but we couldn't believe our luck seeing him stroll along the boardwalk bridge. Beats swimming, I guess. He was quite unfazed with us tailing him, but we gave him some space, until he came across a couple heading in the opposite direction. He was a little unsure at first, but they quickly gave him right of way, and sure enough, the little guy continued along the path. With a shake of his bum, he broke into a short trot and he head off into the evening. The next day, we reluctantly left the amazing Wilson's Prom behind, but the adventure wasn't over yet. Our next stop was the town of Meenian, where we visited Pandesal Bakery. They had a mouth-watering assortment of beautiful pastries, sweets, and baked goods. We couldn't resist and found it so hard just to pick out a couple for brekkie. A special mention goes to their super yummy and super creamy vanilla slice. It was amazing. The vanilla slice, in my opinion, was the perfect way to end our trip. That's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please give us a like and subscribe to follow along. And don't forget, be careful on the roads.